Okay, I'm 5'4.5". Update the Wikipedia, people. Hey everybody, it's Masterath here, and welcome to another episode of MasterRants, finally. And this one is one that I've wanted to do for a while. This one is about heightism, and how it is still socially acceptable, while the other discriminations are not. So as I stated a little bit ago, I am 5'4.5". I am a short man. The national average, I think, is about 5'11", 5'10", something like that. So I'm about 6 inches below the norm. So since I am what millennials call a manlet, I have suffered with a lot of height discrimination throughout a lot of my life. For example, I was the shortest guy in my year at school. But even now, I'm in my mid-20s, and it still happens pretty much on a weekly basis. Now, it depends on who is giving the height discrimination to me. If it's a friend of mine, fair enough. Mostly, all my friends watching this now are going, "Oh God, have I fucked up somewhere?" Don't worry, we'll get to that later. But for people who don't know, heightism is something that can happen in both extremes, either being too short or being too tall. I still can't believe we live in a world where the following terms are unacceptable. Ha, look at her trying to park. She can't park, she's a woman. Ah, look at him with the KFC. We all knew that because he's black. But, hey, what's the weather like up there, mongoloid? Is deemed okay. Or, on the other side of the spectrum, has someone lost a child? He looks about 12, has a beard, chest mush, and he seems pretty angry for some reason. Stereotyping bastards! Now I'm going to go on two things here. First off is about just general heightism. Some that are probably deemed okay because, you know, if you're with friends, fair enough, friends are supposed to rib people, that's fine. The other one is heightism in dating, which is pretty annoying for someone who has been stuck with this heightism problem. So first off, heightism normally. Now I have a few friends who like to take the piss out of my height pretty much on a daily basis when I see them. Things involving using my shoulder as an armrest, or my head as a coaster for their pint. Or seeing the model of a tricycle and saying that that's the perfect bike for me. I wasn't even there for that one. I couldn't even respond by calling you a twat. Oh no! No! His Napoleon complex has hit him! It's taken over him! Oh no! Stay away from him! He's gonna be angry! And little, and angry, and small, and angry some more, but mostly small, yes. This is all done for comedy effects. I honestly don't give a shit. What I do give a shit about is when I hear the same joke over and over again about my height. Please, to my friends watching this, who I see, you know, maybe on a weekly basis or whatever, please use your much larger brains to think of another short joke, because I've heard the same ones so often, I feel like nothing will be funny again. Please, make my life just a little better and think of a new one. But even people I've never met before. You know, I've never seen them before, and the first they mention is they joke about my height. The whole, "Ooh, where are you? Where did I hear that from? Oh, there it is. Sorry mate, didn't see you there," when you're a 6'1" man looking upwards. These people have problems with their ears. I can tell if a noise is higher than I am, or lower than I am. What is wrong with these guys' ears? Seriously, they need to go and get them checked out. Maybe they need a hearing aid or something. Or even for some stupid reason. I was at a club once, just minding my own business, having a drink, and this guy randomly walked up to me and said, "Geez, aren't you short?" This guy, honestly, on an honest note, was at most 2 inches taller than me, which would make him just over 5'6", which is still short. Why do some people who are short always seem to feel like that they need to have a go and take the piss out of someone who is shorter than them just to make themselves feel better? Why? But for some reason, when you're short and you see someone who is shorter, you have to berate them, don't you? No, you don't. That's not a height thing. That's a "you're an asshole" thing. There are a load of people who are shorter than me, but not once have I taken the piss out of their height. That's like trying to fight racism with racism, or sexism with sexism. It just doesn't work. Fighting heightism with heightism, you're completely defeating the purpose of it. What's the point? Right, with that out of the way, it's time for dating as a short man. It's pretty pissing difficult. You see on things like Tinder and everything, stuff that I don't use, about, "I will only date someone this tall." And it's just, wow. Fine, your perspective, I guess. Okay. So I'm going to share a story from the last time I actually tried to ask a woman out. This is a while ago, so it's not about my weight. I know I'm nearly pushing 14 stone, very unhealthy right now, not feeling the best. But this was when I looked like this. A hell of a lot better. I was about 11 stone then. I think I looked pretty good. Anyway, I met this woman. She was a bit older than me. I think she's about like 6 or 7 years older than me or whatever. And we hit it off pretty much instantly. We had some great chats, we had a dance, we had some great fun. You know, it was really enjoyable. We kissed, we chatted, we did that, wink. And then after about 5 months, I think, okay, this is going amazingly well. I'm going to pop the question, you know, and ask her out. She responds with, sorry, I'm not looking for a relationship right now. My response is, okay, fair enough. You're not looking for a relationship. Wish you'd told me that earlier instead of, you know, just wanting to have sex instead. But fair enough, fine, okay. We can stay friends, sure, all is well. 2 weeks later, she's dating someone. This person is taller than her, taller than me, by about, looks about 6, 7 inches taller, probably about 6 foot, 6'1", something like that. Not in good shape whatsoever, no job, and I met this guy, and he has the personality of a sponge. If there's one thing I don't like about women being heightist when it comes to someone asking them out, just come out and say it. Please, just come out and say it instead of giving us a bullshit reason. Some women are so happy to say what they want in a relationship. You know, what their partner to look like, their personality, their job or whatever, you know, and that's perfectly fine. But it's when certain women are so afraid of being labelled as shallow that they give you a bullshit reason and then you realise that they're shallow because they've done this. It's like, oh, I don't want you to think I'm shallow. Well, I do think you're shallow. But so am I. If you want a certain personality trait in your partner, you're shallow. That's the way it is. My perfect partner is one who can hold her own in a conversation, you know, is intelligent, funny, witty, a great sense of humour, and, well, doesn't bleed and cheat and is honest. As much to a lot of people, they're probably going, well, that just seems normal, really, doesn't it? You know, pretty normal expectations. You're asking a trait from someone, that's shallow as hell. It's only when you get to the physical side of it where you can be deemed as shallow, for some reason. I've been watching videos recently about heightism, and one of the ones I watched was, would women date a short man? And all of them said no. The reason they asked, especially one in particular, was they didn't want to feel like that they were embarrassed, pretty much, of people believing that that's their child, which is dumb. This woman put herself at about, I think, 5'7". The interviewer asked about a 5'4" man. But then they swap things around by saying, okay, what would be the minimum height that you would want to date? And she says, have a guess on this one. I'll give you a bit of time to guess. Okay. 6'5". She's what, 5'7". She wants a 6'5" girl that's 10 inches taller. So it's okay for you to not want to be deemed as like a mother to this little munchkin who's 3 inches shorter than you, but it's fine for you to want to have an expectation to date a man who is 10 inches taller than you. Maybe the 6'5" professional basketball player may be thinking, she's a bit too short. I don't want to be thinking that I'm this woman's father or anything. But that's wrong, isn't it? On an honest note, they're both wrong. You don't have to try and belittle someone, and that's what it pretty much was. These women were belittling short people. You know, they were belittling short men. For no reason. Don't make up bullshit to try and make yourself seem funny. Or to make yourself seem like, you know, oh, I'm going to tell a joke here about short people. Because the interviewer, who I believe was like 5'10", was not a big fan of them. He does end this video off in a very good way, which I do humbly admit. Which is, on an honest note, it is not about your height mostly. If someone does not want to date you because of your height, that's fine. If anything, you've dodged a bullet. One day you will find someone who wants to be with you because of maybe your personality traits, or maybe a physical trait, but not one that, well, you can't change, for example. Some relationships, height is not an issue. It's only sort of in the last, probably 20 years, I'd say, where it has become an issue. And once again, it's bullshit Western culture. Which is a bit of a shame, really, because I've been out of action in relationships for 4 years, and I honestly do not feel like going back there anytime soon. Personally, I'd rather wait a bit and maybe find a woman who's more mature than to be like, I want a man who's way taller than me because I want to be his arm candy. Yeah! Nuzzle, 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 fuck off. Anyway, guys, that is the end of this episode of MasterRants from a very angry Napoleon complex little man. What are your opinions of it? Have you had any experiences of heightism? Do you know anyone who has? Post them down in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. And now, I'm off back to the Magic Kingdom with the rest of my elves.